Tea for two. Hi, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you this whimsical Mother's Day tea party centerpiece created with roses from my garden and this beautiful tea set I got from my friends at Aynsley. My name is Katherine Bergman. I'm a florist with over 30 years experience designing weddings and events, sharing all things floral with you each week. Just in time for Mother's Day, we're going to do this beautiful, whimsical Mother's Day tea centerpiece. Are you ready to make something gorgeous together? Let's get started. So our friends at Aynsley sent me a beautiful tea set. Aynsley is an English fine china tea set and tableware company that was started 250 years ago in 1775 in Staffordshire, England. They reached out to me after watching my videos and said they'd like to send me a tea set, and at my discretion, I can do a video featuring their tea sets. So I chose this beautiful one called Chelsea. The pattern's Chelsea. And it's beautifully packaged. So it'd be a wonderful gift for Mother's Day, I think. And I thought, what more perfect video to feature their beautiful tea set than a Mother's Day tea centerpiece? So that's the teacup. They sent me 2 teacups and a teapot. Now, Aynsley has provided fine china and tableware to the royal family, and it's rumored that Queen Elizabeth II got some Aynsley items for her wedding, and so, you know, it's got some pedigree. Very beautiful. I like the shape of this teapot, this little oval shape, kind of unique. If you would like your own beautiful Aynsley tea set, they have generously given my viewers a 30% coupon code, Katherine Bergman, or use the link in the description below. And so I thought, well, what kind of arrangement are we going to do? So I came up with a whimsical design. I hope you're going to like it. So I added some floral foam to our little teapot, as well as 2 small blocks of it in our teacups. And we're just going to start arranging. I cut some roses from the garden, mostly in pinks and hot pinks, just because I thought it would look beautiful with the pink Chelsea tea set here. And what better material to use in our English tea set than the English roses from my garden? I'm going to start with this beautiful rose called the Huntington Rose. It is named for the Huntington Library in Pasadena, California, and it's a David Austin rose. It's that perfect old-fashioned cabbage rose, like a redoute print. I love this rose in a beautiful clear pink. I'm going to start with this. Now, the roses from the garden sometimes don't last a long time, so this product called Quick Dip is really wonderful. I use this every week, and I'll link this in the description. It is it's a hydrator for flowers. You just dip it for like a second or two, and it really helps flowers hydrate. Not sponsored by them. It's just a great product. Okay. Just going to go ahead and put our beautiful Huntington rose here. And then there's this gorgeous magenta colored rose. I don't know the name of this rose. You know, I've got a lot of roses in the garden. Sometimes you lose the tag, or, you know, sometimes they're just gift roses and I forget what they're called. But this is a beautiful hot pink magenta colored bloom. Then we're going to add a little bit of this other hot pink rose called Princess Anne. This is one of my favorite David Austin roses. I added this to the garden about 3-4 years ago, and now it's flowering freely. Very heavily scented rose. And it has like a rosette shape in this hot pink color. It's just gorgeous. Okay. And so you see, it takes very few blooms to do a little arrangement in a teapot. You know, every week I show you arrangements, often in novelty containers, because I really want you to be inspired to think outside the vase and to be able to use not a lot of flowers, maybe just a few roses you clip from your garden, and make something spectacular with it. It's sort of like the point of this channel is sort of to get you to imagine using the flowers in your garden in different ways. And when you go out shopping, or even just looking around your house, to look at the vessels and little props that you have differently. what I'm adding here is a very pretty little spray rose called Bonica. Bonica is a landscape rose, so it's quite a workhorse in the garden. It blooms nonstop, and even though the blooms look very delicate, they last a really long time. So I'm just adding a few stems of Bonica in here. Just going to turn this around and look at our little arrangement. Looking good. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of greenery, not much. These are sprigs of potasprum. This is a potasprum that I grow in the garden called beach ball. It's a wonderful little plant. It's just a neat little topiary looking bush that stays neat without a lot of clipping. And the greenery is delicate, light green, lasts really long, and just beautiful. I use it in these small, delicate arrangements. You can use it if you're making boutonnieres or corsages. It's a wonderful small greenery. I'm just adding a little greenery here and there, more for the aesthetics than for greening in, because there's not much we have to cover. That's another thing. When you have foam in a vessel like this, you don't have a lot of mechanics you have to cover, so it doesn't take a lot of material. I'm trying to think if I should add another of this fuchsia rose. I think so. I'm going to add another stem of this hot pink fuchsia rose in the middle of our little teapot. And I think we're done. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and do 2 small arrangements in our teacups. Roses from the garden are often very short-stemmed, and that's why these little teacups and teapots are wonderful little vessels too. So you just can use your very short-stemmed roses in here, right? And not have to waste it. Or think, oh, it's too short for a vase. So think outside the vase. I have another stem of this Huntington rose I can add in here. And this little rose is actually from a huge climber I have called Eden. A lot of you probably have Eden. If you have to add if you have space to add a climbing rose in your garden, this would be my choice. It's a nonstop bloomer, prolific and gorgeous. You can see what it looks like. The buds are white kissed with pink, and then when it blooms, it's like a pale pink, and it blooms in these huge sprays. I have hundreds of these blooms right now in the garden. Okay, I'm going to add some of the small Bonica roses as an accent. We are only using roses in this arrangement, right? We don't even have accent flowers, just all roses. Part of the reason I started this channel is to inspire you to have flowers as part of your everyday life. Often we think of flowers only for holidays or special occasions. But if you have a little plot of land or even a container garden, you can grow enough flowers to use. Just bring a little into the house, a bit of nature into your house, and enjoy flowers every day. Doesn't have to be just for your birthday or Valentine's Day or if you're having a dinner party, right? Little arrangements like this doesn't cost a lot of money, even if you have to go and buy the materials. But if you can grow it, that's even better. And if you have creative ways to display it, like this little teacup arrangement, you don't have to do an elaborate arrangement. Just this on your table, I think, will bring a smile. And here's our second arrangement with the teacup. And we'll do a third one with this teacup. and then I'll show you how we're going to assemble it. I'm going to start with the Bonica rose this time in the middle. And then our Princess Anne, a little sprig of Princess Anne here. Some of our mystery magenta rose. Generally, I know the names of all my roses, but this one I don't. It's been in the garden for a long, long time, too. To add another little Bonica rose here to complete our arrangement. Then we're going to just add a few sprigs of this Potasprum. I think the green just brings out the vibrancy of the pinks. If we have all the pinks right next to each other, somehow it's not as effective as if we have a little bit of green to kind of break it up. All right, we're done with our 3 little arrangements. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to assemble it. So I have the spool of pearls that I bought for a wedding maybe 10 years ago, and I cut a length of it for this next part of the arrangement. So it's a pretty long length of it, and we're going to thread it through the spout of the teapot. Just going to feed it through. Now when I added floral foam, I made sure that I didn't add a ton of floral foam so that we have some space for the pearls. And I'm going to feed a good amount in there just so it doesn't come out when we do this next part. Now we're going to set it aside. I'm going to show you how we're going to assemble this for a little extra touch of whimsy. I have a 2-tier tray here, very inexpensive tray. I think is maybe $15. I bought at Hobby Lobby. And I just attached, glued to the top here, a little bit of faux garland. It looks like Smilax. I didn't go to the market this week to buy Smilax, so I'm just going to use the faux garland. And I also have here a little tiny lid from a vitamin bottle. You guys know I love to keep all these little things. You never know what you need. And what I'm going to do is place my teapot on top of that lid at an angle, and the lid is glued down to the 2-tier tray, and I put a little bit of stickum on top of the lid, and so the teapot is secured. That's why we have the pearl. I wanted this to come pouring out of the spot of our teacup. And then we're going to set, I have a little riser here. Collect these. You know, whenever you see cute little risers, just buy them because they can elevate your little arrangements for you. We're going to put a teacup arrangement here on the riser, and then have the pearls come down on this and drip down from the saucer. That's why we have the pearl stuffed in here. And the reason I put this teacup on a riser is because of the lip of this tray. It makes it so that it's hard to fit the saucer in here. So if you elevate it off of the lip of the tray above it, then you can have the saucer. And then I'm going to place this one over here where I think we have enough space for the tea saucer, kind of. It's a little bit lopsided. You know what? I'll just take the saucer off and just do the teacup. There we go. Then we're going to put the lid of the teapot up top. This will help hide that little mechanic of the little vitamin top, and I have a little piece of garland I cut off that I'm going to place right here to hide the little vitamin lid. And that, there you have it. We have our tilting teapot arrangement with pearls pouring down and two pretty little teacups filled with flowers. And we're going to add some little pastries to these. So I have a package of colorful macarons, and we're just going to place them here. And so you can actually use this as a serving tray for a tea party, a real tea party. You have your little macarons. And we have our little macarons stacked there. And you can put little petite fours throughout. And you've got a adorable, whimsical centerpiece for a Mother's Day tea party. I'm enjoying tea in the rose garden with someone very special today. This is my son, Christopher.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms and grandmothers out there. As always, please like and subscribe and click the little bell to be notified when I put out a new video. Send me a comment and let me know how you're spending Mother's Day, and I will see you in my next video.